Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today's a little different. I don't usually do this. This is going to be similar to Brickside Chat. Speaking of Brickside Chat, actually what happened about a week and a half ago is Seabad Callie asked me a question and said, I believe you mentioned in another video that this is not your first BrickLink store. Would you take a few minutes to explain any big ticket lessons that you learned in operating your current successful store? So I decided instead of answering that in Brickside Chat, it might be better if I answer that in its own standalone video because there are quite a few things that I can say about running a current BrickLink store. So what this video is going to be 5 major tips to running a BrickLink store and growing your BrickLink store kind of as a brand and a business as a whole. Now this first tip I don't think is the most important tip, but a lot of people don't watch through the whole video, so I want to put this out there so it's clear. If you're trying to grow your store, do not make bad purchases just because you want more parts in your store. And what I mean by this is do not go out and buy a Lego set that parts out for only 1.5 times the price because that's the only thing available at the time. It's not worth it to go spend the same amount of money you're going to make on a set that's going to make you less money, if that makes sense what I just said there. Because a lot of those pieces are going to sit in your store for a while. It takes time to sell. You need to think about all the costs that go into the store itself with the drawers, the packaging, the shipping, the mailing, like the labels, everything. You need to think about all that. And if you're parting out a set for only 1.5 times the price just to grow your store, it doesn't actually do you any good. I know we're struggling with this right now because there are not a ton of Lego sales going on. There are only, very, very few, and it's like, okay, we'll pick up a few sets here this month and that's it. And that's okay because we can save the money that we're making currently in our store for later on when there are big Lego sales and stuff. And at that point, we can spend the money and get the sets that are going to part out for the price. So just be patient if you're trying to grow your store. Don't waste money on Lego sets. Kind of going along with the growing your store, tip number 2 is do not grow too quickly. And what I mean by this is don't buy so many sets and part them all out and stuff and get them in your store that all of a sudden you're going to start getting so many sales that you can't keep up with it. Currently, we're getting 2 or 3 sales a day that are just huge, massive orders of multiple hundreds of lots. And they take a while to pack. And if you're not doing this professionally or full-time, I guess, when you're just doing this after work or on the weekends or whatever it might be, it might get really tiring and annoying to have to pack these large orders. And if you do grow too quickly, that could happen all of a sudden. So a big thing that you can easily do, an easy fix, is to raise your prices a little bit, raise them 5-10%. And that'll help to kind of slow down your orders, but it will keep some money running in. With that, number 3, I guess, tip number 3 kind of leads into or ties into tip number 2 as well. If you're getting those really big orders, you might be making more errors on them as well if you're not having an enjoyable time or enough time to package the orders. So tip 3 is customer service. You want to have good customer service. Let's say someone is missing a piece when they order from you. They get their package, they part out all the pieces, and now they're missing one 2x4 plate. If they're missing a 2x4 plate, you want to obviously, when they contact you, contact them back immediately. Don't wait to send them another email. You want to send it to them right away so they know that you heard them and you understand what their problem is and you're going to fix it. Now, usually what we do is if we have that piece in stock and it was just misplaced or miscounted, we're obviously going to send that piece to that buyer. But another thing we're going to do is give them a refund. Or not a full refund, but also not a refund for just that 1x2 plate or whatever that piece might be, because it's only a few cents. So it's not even worth sending that refund. So we'll send them a refund for a few dollars. And then usually what we'll do is we'll send them a coupon as well that, hopefully gets them coming back to the store. Now we do send every buyer a coupon. Starts at 5% off, has tiered pricing as the total goes up. But if we have an error with an order, we'll send them a coupon for maybe $10 off their order. So, potentially they could get $10 worth of free Lego, or, we might just send them a higher percentage off coupon depending on what the error was in the order. Number 4 kind of goes along with customer service, but it is professionalism. Be professional in your store. Think of it as a business. If you're thinking of it as a business, you need to create a logo, create a brand, create a slogan, a tagline. Everything kind of goes together. Make sure the colors and the logo match up. We try to correlate the colors on our BrickLink store page with the colors in our logo. Make everything kind of cohesive and flow together. We take a step further and we go with packaging. So on our little boxes, we have a stamp that we purchased, and it's our logo, and we stamp it on the ink pad and put it on the side of the box. So when a buyer gets it, they can pick up that package and they instantly see our logo on the side that says Just a Brick in the Bucket. And now instantly they know what they got, they know what's in this box, but they also are thinking of our brand. Another thing we just recently started doing is this little business card. It goes inside of every single package. On the front there's the logo, and on the back there's a small thank you message. So now, in addition to seeing the logo on the side of the box or maybe on a sticker on an envelope or something, they open this box and again they see your logo. So now they're still thinking Just a Brick in the Bucket. They're thinking your name the whole way through, which could potentially in the future lead them to come back to your store. And I think this is another thing with packaging in all, like total. You want to make sure that you're packaging everything right. You don't just want to pour it all in a bubble mailer or just a poly mailer maybe, and ship it off and hope it gets there in one piece. You want to, like if you have big pieces or pieces that potentially could break, you want to wrap them in bubble wrap and then put them in a poly mailer or a bubble mailer. You don't want to just pour every single piece in that bag. What do you want to receive a big bag of 2,000 different parts that are all mixed together? Probably not. I wouldn't. So think about the way you would want to receive an order and send that the way you'd like to get it to the buyer. Send it to them nicely. So we package every single lot separately. Makes it easier for them on their end to separate out the pieces. And number 5 is kind of know your market. So if you're selling minifigs, if you want to specialize in minifigs, know the minifigs. Know that the hand is the wrong color on this torso, or that the torso is cracked right here between the legs, where the legs fit in. Just know your market there. If you're selling used pieces, understand that, certain pieces are in better condition, and be honest. If they're not in a great condition, say in the comments section, 5 out of 10, or if it's a white brick and it's starting to yellow, type in starting to yellow. Be honest with your buyers and know what you're selling to them. Don't just list everything randomly and hope that they're happy with whatever condition they receive it in. They really want to know what it is. And I have a tip number 6, and this is have fun. I didn't want to put it as an official one of the 5 tips, but when most people are selling on BrickLink, I think they're doing it as a hobby or to fund their Lego hobby. Make sure you're having fun with it. If you're not having fun, raise your prices, scale back, pack less orders. Sell your whole collection of inventory. Whatever you want to do, if you're not having fun with it, is it really worth it at the end of the day? With that being said, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you watched through, and maybe some of these tips are helpful for you guys. I know when I was starting BrickLink, I was constantly searching on YouTube tips for selling on BrickLink, and these are a few tips that I think are not really out there. So hopefully these will complement some of the other ones that Bricksar and other channels like that out there have helped me in the past grow to be not a big BrickLink seller, but more of a successful seller over the past few months and a couple years even that I've been doing it. That's pretty much it. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you're not subscribed, click the subscribe button. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions at all, go ahead and put them in the comments section below, and I'll answer them in the Brickside chat, or I'll get back to you in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching one more time, and we'll see you in the next video.